What's up, Headless Horde? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Arya Stark and her kill list in Game of Thrones. In the early seasons, Arya had a list of people that she wanted to kill because they hurt her family or caused harm to those she cared about. The list is a big part of Arya's story in the early seasons, showing how she dealt with anger and grief. Over time, Arya worked to get revenge, but she wasn't able to kill everyone on her list, and that left fans feeling a little bit mixed. So why is the list important? Arya's list included powerful people like Joffrey Baratheon and Cersei Lannister, who were responsible for her father's death, and others like Walder Frey, who planned the Red Wedding where her mother and brother were killed. She also included less powerful but cruel people like Meryn Trant, who killed her sword-fighting teacher Syrio Forel, and Polliver, who killed her friend Lammy and stole her sword, Needle. Arya recited the list to herself every night, almost like a prayer. It kept her focused and helped her remember why she needed to stay strong after losing her family. Over time, the list changed as Arya grew and her journey took her to new places. Some people were taken off the list as she forgave them, while others were added when they hurt her or people she cared about. There were a total of 13 names on Arya Stark's kill list. Arya managed to kill 5 of them, and then she also forgave several of them. So what we're going to do is go through each of the characters and we'll briefly talk about what happened. Arya managed to kill a few people on her list in clever and shocking ways. First up, Polliver. So Polliver was killed by surprise in a fight, and this allowed her to take back her sword, Needle. And then we have Rorig. So Rorig was on the list because he was one of the dangerous prisoners traveling with Arya and her friends in Season 2. He threatened Arya with violence and was cruel and aggressive. Arya killed Rorig herself when they met again later. She recognized him and asked for his name to confirm his identity. After he revealed it, she quickly stabbed him before he could harm her or anyone else. While training to become a faceless man in the House of Black and White, Meryn Trant travels to the city of Braavos. Arya follows him as he is about to, let's say, take advantage of young women. Arya, disguised as a servant girl, stabs him in the eyes and throat, making him pay for not only taking advantage of kids, but also killing her teacher. Arya's most highly profile kill has to be Walder Frey. Arya used her training as a faceless man to disguise herself as a servant of Walder. She kills him at a feast while making him eat his sons and ends up poisoning everybody at the dinner party. Arya wasn't able to kill everyone on her list, but that's not because she didn't try. So first we have Joffrey Baratheon. Joffrey and Cersei Lannister were probably numero uno on her list. Joffrey had died from poison at his wedding before Arya could actually get to him. He was murdered by Olenna Tyrell, the mother of his wife, Margaery. Later in Season 8, Jaime Lannister gets his revenge for the death of his son, as he then makes Olenna drink poison. Arya gave up on killing Cersei after realizing revenge wasn't as important as surviving and protecting her family. Cersei ends up dying along with Jaime as the Red Keep crumbled to the ground by the hands of Daenerys Targaryen. Tywin Lannister was killed by his son, Tyrion, before Arya could ever take revenge on him. Tywin and Arya had one of the most interesting relationships in all of Game of Thrones. I personally don't think that she would have actually ever have killed him, because I think the respect they had for one another with each other's history of Westeros was enough to kind of keep them away from each other's throats. On top of that, I don't believe that Tywin actually ever knew who Arya was. when she worked for him as a glass bearer. The Mountain was on the list, and so was his brother, the Hound. Now, Arya chose to let go of her anger toward the Hound after he showed he cared about her and saved her life. Now, the Mountain was a hard one for Arya to get to because he was very strong and well protected. He ultimately did die in a fight with his brother at King's Landing in the final season. Now, next we have Ilyn Payne. Now, he was on the list because he was the executioner who actually beheaded her father, Ned Stark, in King's Landing. Arya witnessed this entire act, and she never forgave him for it. Arya never encountered Ilyn Payne again after leaving King's Landing. His role faded in the show, and he was not killed or removed from the list in a significant way. Fans were left to assure that Arya simply didn't get the opportunity to face him, more or less because he was written out of the show. Now, the next three characters Arya ended up removing from her list. So let's break these down one at a time. First up, we have Beric Dondarrion. Now, Beric was on the list because Arya blamed him for selling Gendry to Melisandre, which scared and upset her because Gendry was her friend. Over time, Arya removed Beric from her list because she saw that he wasn't an evil person. He was trying to follow the will of the Lord of Light, and later even sacrificed himself to save Arya during the Battle of Winterfell against Night King. This act redeemed him in Arya's eyes. Melisandre was on the list because she actually is the one who took Gendry from the Brotherhood without banners, intending to use his royal blood in her magical rituals. Arya saw this as a betrayal and a threat to her friend. Arya didn't kill Melisandre because their paths didn't cross again until much later, during the Battle of Winterfell. There, Melisandre helped Arya by reminding her of her strength and purpose, which inspired Arya to kill the Night King. By then, Arya had moved past her grudge against Melisandre, who died peacefully after fulfilling her mission. Finally, we have Thoros of Myr. Now, he was on the list like Beric because Arya blamed him for selling Gendry. Thoros eventually died on an expedition beyond the Wall while helping Jon Snow and his group. Arya never had the chance to confront him, and by that time she likely wouldn't have pursued him since her anger about Gendry had failed. Now, how does the fandom feel about the lists? Fans have mixed feelings about Arya's kill list. Many loved how it gave her a clear goal and made her story exciting. However, some were disappointed that she didn't get to kill more of the big villains, like Joffrey or Cersei, especially since the list was mentioned so many times in the early seasons. Some fans think it showed Arya's growth as a character because she learned that revenge isn't always the answer, while others wish the show had focused more on her getting justice for her family. In the end, Arya's list wasn't just about killing, it was about how she dealt with the pain and how she changed over time. It's one of the reasons why Arya Stark's story is so memorable. Now it's your turn to let me know down in the comments, were you okay with the way this entire thing played out with the kill list? Or do you wish that she was able to kill more of the high profile characters such as Joffrey or Cersei? Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to keep those heads on, and I will see you guys in the next video.